Hello friends. Welcome to my channel Facts for You. In the Jodhpur district of Rajasthan, India, there's a village called Badla. It gets super hot there, reaching up to 46 degrees Celsius to 48 degrees Celsius in summers. Sandstorms are also common. Back in 2015-16, if you looked at it from space, it looked one way. But now, if you see it, it's totally different. It's the Badla Solar Park, the biggest one in the world. It covers a whopping 14,000 acres, which is around 56.6 kilometers. When you zoom out, you can see how massive it is. It's like fitting half of Paris inside. It can generate a huge amount of electricity, 2,245 megawatts in total. Imagine this. These massive solar power plants demonstrate the incredible potential of solar energy. Morocco stands out internationally as a leader in solar energy, with 20% of its electricity coming from solar sources. The world's largest concentrated solar power plant is located there. Now, let's ponder. How large can we make these colossal solar projects? Could we cover the entire desert with solar panels? What would happen if we covered the Sahara Desert with them? Could solar panels alone meet global electricity demand? Consider this. Solar energy could potentially account for 60% of global renewable power goals by 2022. And with solar panels in orbit, we could provide continuous energy, day and night, regardless of the weather. In real life, we don't need to cover the entire Sahara Desert with solar panels to power the world. The sun provides us with a lot of energy, 173,000 terawatts all the time, which is more than 10,000 times what we need globally. It's believed that the sunlight reaching Earth in just an hour and a half could supply the world's electricity for a year. How much land would we need to cover with solar panels to meet our energy needs? A slightly larger square, about 254 kilometers on each side, could fulfill everyone's electricity requirements. However, now it's estimated that around 500,000 square kilometers of land would be necessary. Furthermore, there are roughly 40,000 golf courses worldwide covering about 1 square kilometer each. If these were transformed into solar farms instead, they could occupy 1/10 of our required land area. However, executing such plans faces practical challenges. Indeed, when electricity moves from one place to another, some of it is lost along the way. Another issue is maintenance. Who will take care of these solar panels? They need regular cleaning, especially if they're in a desert where sandstorms are common. If sand builds up on the panels, they won't work as well. But at the Badla solar power plant, they've got it covered with over 2,000 cleaning robots. Even though we have a solution, there's still more work to be done. Once solar panels are installed, they won't keep making electricity forever. This means we'll need a lot of resources and money for maintenance. And speaking of money, that's a big problem too. Why don't we set up 100 solar power plants similar to the Badla solar power plant? We don't have enough money to reach our goal. What we want to accomplish. We might need more money to reach our goal. Where can we find the money? Think about it as much as you can. It means you can find the answer if you think hard and look carefully. There are many problems to solve, but there are solutions. A good solution is for each person to use solar energy instead of big solar power plants. When people install solar panels on their homes, they can avoid problems and it's easier to maintain them with help from companies. It's also easier for people to use the electricity they generate before sharing any extra power. There are two types of personal solar systems. Those that connect to the main grid and those that operate independently with a battery. The first type allows you to share excess electricity with others and get paid for it while still using grid power when necessary. The second type stores energy in a battery for nighttime use, but batteries can be costly, so the first type is usually better. A solar system typically lasts 25 years, meaning you pay once and then enjoy free electricity for a long time after that. It takes around 3-5 years to recoup your initial investment, and after that, you start making a profit. These panels move independently to follow the sun and produce as much energy as possible. Also, special solar panels provide hot water for the house. The design of the building is very good at saving energy, making 5 to 6 times more energy than it uses. The architect calls it plus energy, a completely clean and renewable solution that doesn't emit CO2. Since then, more houses like this have been built, showing heliotropism, a natural phenomenon where things turn towards the sun. For example, sunflowers face the sun and open during the day but close at night. These houses work based on how the sun moves too. Solar power has a lot of potential even for one person. It's not just about individuals using solar panels or big solar parks. Both are needed depending on where you are and what you can afford. Solar power isn't perfect. It has problems like any other thing. Cloudy days or winter don't make a big difference in how well solar panels work because they only need light to keep going. The biggest problem with solar energy is carbon emissions from making solar cells with metals like silver and copper that need mining, which pollutes soil, water, and air while making greenhouse gases worse. Making solar panels in factories also adds carbon emissions to the environment. Even though using solar power is better for Earth than coal or gas, it still affects nature. Solar panels last a long time before needing replacing, but what happens when they do? Recycling them isn't easy right now, but will be important as more old panels need replacing in the future. Despite all the tough stuff, solar power's future looks super bright. Every year, making solar panels gets cheaper thanks to cool tech upgrades. Solar panels are getting better at their job, and new ways to make solar energy are popping up, like putting solar panels on water to run fancy tourist spots. Solar power is even creeping into travel, with tests using solar panels on boats and in others. Take the Sun 21 boat. It zipped across the Atlantic Ocean using only sunlight and got a Guinness World Record for it. Then there's Solar Impulse 2, a plane with 17,000 solar cells on its wings that flew 40,000 kilometers without any fuel. And get this, people are thinking about putting solar panels in space next. Fun fact: the first time we used solar power was in a spaceship called Vanguard back in the 1950s. Today, more than 50 cool British tech groups, like Airbus and the UK Space Energy Initiative, are teaming up to make a space solar power plant. They want to build a floating power station in space that's kind of like satellites around Earth. The idea is to put lots of solar panels in space and send the energy they make down to Earth using microwaves. Space doesn't have stuff like night, rain, clouds, or dust that can mess things up on Earth. So, they think solar panels in space could make 13 times more energy than ones on Earth. They hope to have this cool idea working by 2035, but we'll have to wait and see if it can really happen. Thanks for watching Facts.